The Board of Appeals to order. We usually have 5 people. I expect our 5th to be arriving sometime, but we have a quorum. Do any of the gentlemen at the table need to abstain from voting on any of the issues tonight?
No.
No.
Nope.
Who was out to see the properties before us?
I went to all of them.
You went to all of them, Tom?
I went to all of them.
You went to all of them, Greg, okay. Tommy? Okay, I did not either. And did any of you speak with anyone about the variance requests that we'll have before us this evening?
No.
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 All right. What do you think about the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Babcock and seconded by Mr. Hoy to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that out of the way, we'll get down to business. Mr. McAllister, you come forward and make the case for why we should grant you a variance.
I live on a corner lot. I don't have much options. My backyard is pretty cluttered with some toys and some grills and stuff. I don't have much space left. I got like 11 feet, a little over 11 feet on the side of my garage, my neighbors. I would just like to put an 8x18 shed there if at all possible to clean up the yard and stuff.
Now, regarding that, could you go back to that previous picture? It looks like you've started to do something
Nope,
there.
that's all gone. I didn't know.
Oh, that's all gone?
Yeah, I didn't know I needed a permit for that, so I tore that down.
Okay, so that's down, and now you're back
It's all open,
talking about doing it a little better.
yes.
All right. And your principal argument for the variance is that you need space for your stuff.
Yes, and without it, I guess I'm only allowed like a 3-foot shed or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a driveway there?
Yeah, it's all paved. It's driveway all the way back.
Okay. And how close to the fence is that shed gonna go?
They said I could go like a foot if it was all granted on each side, so I can maintain it. Behind it, it'd be like 4 feet. It would be built even with the garage, so it wouldn't obstruct no view. It'd be the same as it is now.
Any other questions for the applicant? Tom, you were there. Any thoughts on, comments on what you saw?
If we could pull up the first one, or the one, yeah. Well, he's definitely trying to maximize the space.
Yeah, those two vehicles, the blue one and the red one are gone. It's just the black one's still there, and my new truck will be there.
I'd be interested to hear what the other folks say.
Well, I mean, I think putting that shed in is gonna pretty much eliminate any other space he has on his property. And it's going pretty close to that fence line. Those are the concerns I have about it. But, he certainly wants to have some more space, but I do have concerns about where he's locating that and how close he's getting to that fence line there.
Have you talked to the neighbor that is gonna be closest to the garage at all? Have you partnered with them?
No,
on
they
this?
got their metal built up in there, and they don't speak English, so I can't really talk to them.
This group here,
Yeah, they don't speak English.
because that's the ordinance that's being looked over, is the closeness to the property line here, correct?
Correct,
So it's
yes.
too close
One
this
of four,
way?
yeah.
That's the only one, right? Not total space or anything like that?
Yeah, just,
There are 4 total requests for this variance, so he has them listed here. So the impervious coverage would need the variance, side yard, front yard setback is permitted with this, but that's with the dimensions that are listed here. So if there are any changes, then there might be a front yard issue as well.
Got it, okay.
Okay, sir, before I ask you to sit down, is there anyone else here that intends to speak for or against the issue here today? Okay. I guess, sir, if you could have a seat, we'll try to deliberate amongst ourselves. Noel, do you have any questions on this first one? No. Did you, by the way, Noel, did you go out to see any of the
I
properties?
did not.
Okay,
Nor have I spoken with anybody in regard to it.
very good, thank you. I'll tell you my thoughts. The neighbor is already encroaching. The existing driveway is already encroaching. To a certain extent, one could view this as simply helping to make the area a little neater by allowing the applicant to put in his storage shed. On the other hand, it is a lot of variances, and we're squeezing this to the very edge of his property. I do have three hands, so I will mention on the other hand, yet, it's a very small lot. And to the extent that that sways our opinion on this, it certainly stares out at us. So I guess I've been sufficiently neutral. I'll let you guys carry the conversation from here.
This is a garage? Here?
No.
This
No.
piece? Go back to that
If you want to
other,
go back one there.
this right here?
Yeah, that's a garage.
That's a garage.
Yes.
The piece you're talking about is back here.
Yeah,
by
the piece
that
that's in
fence
that
line.
picture is
It's right
gone.
next to that garage.
And I would like to put the shed in between the garage and the fence.
This is a play area for your kids.
Right.
The garage, you're just looking at a shed back here in this corner.
Correct.
Cool. And this piece over here is sunroom?
No, that's the kitchen. They must have added that
Over
on before
here?
I bought it. Yeah.
Got it, okay.
Now, you're going to be building right on that property line?
It'll be like a foot or so off of it,
He
yes.
proposes-
That fence there, that's my fence, so I'd say a foot off of that,
A foot off of this.
off of that brown fence, correct. Or I guess whatever I need to stay off of it.
And we're saying the adjacent property to the right in this photograph, that drive and that garage are within the setbacks already and were they
Well, I
permitted?
think they're very close I guess I shouldn't speculate on that.
Okay.
It looks pretty tight.
Again, just question, would I assume that this has been, that has been granted at some point too?
Don't
Don't assume that.
Right, but I mean, even that might be, is that what you were talking about as well?
Yeah, but that would be the pre-existing condition upon which we are not granting a decision tonight,
Got it.
which doesn't mean that we can't consider it in our argument to ourselves.
Right. Kind of,
Well,
I'm in the middle.
I've explained how neutral I am. Apparently you are too, Tom.
Yeah. I think it's too much. I think it's, if I had to vote right now, I would vote to deny, based on the fact that it's encroaching pretty far. It's, we're asking for a lot of requests here. You know, it's a smaller lot, but I don't think it's all that small. It's got some other space too. But that's where I'm leaning. I think it's just too much.
You have a thought, Noel?
Well, I'm seeing a 3-car wide driveway, an existing garage that looks like it could be a 2-car, although it looks like there's only a single width door on it. You know, so there's storage already in half of that. So we're looking for additional storage beyond that. I guess it's permitted, and if the owner is proposing to put it, you know, behind that existing garage, we wouldn't be having a conversation about the setbacks on the shed. It is a small lot, but, you know, I've lived on smaller, you know, and so you've got some room to work with there, I guess, but, yeah, you know, and on the other hand, I guess if we've got multiple hands here, you know, I'm looking at the adjacent, you know, garage and property and thinking, well, if you're sticking something right next to something that's on the adjacent property, that's not that big of an issue, but again, you know, two wrongs don't make a right necessarily if we're looking at, you know, just packing that density in that corner there.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the quandary we see lots of, where we have a situation where it would seem that we're just kind of keeping with the tenor of the neighborhood, and yet the ordinances don't really allow us to have that much flexibility. So you're kind of no. Tom, we haven't heard from you.
Well, when I was there, it was cleared out, and there was a trailer parked in there. I know one of the reasons that we have setbacks is for the fire department, if there's a fire, to be able to get back there. They're still gonna have some room to get back there if they have to. It's putting an awful lot on that lot. Yeah, I'm still not sure which way to go with it, to be honest with you.
Sir, is this a single-family house?
Yes. Well, it's as a two-family house, but we only use it as a single family.
Okay, so there's no
Just-
renters involved here, all the cars being parked are for you and,
Yeah.
okay.
Trailerettes there would be going away. We would stay there.
I mean, it's already blacktop.
Yeah.
That's part of it. But blacktop also lets park car.
Well, yeah, I mean, are we aiding and abetting here is what you're probably,
Well, I can't figure out the impervious one at 59.5%. Like, looking at it,
like, should be like 75%?
if we grant, I mean, it would be, I can't figure out where the impervious would not be.
Yeah. Well, he's got a little
Well,
bit
a
of a
little
front
bit.
yard and a little bit of a side yard.
I don't think we're looking at asking them to tear up the blacktop.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, now we're adding another piece to a thing that is already extremely dense. You know, the
Right.
only yard part that is this, and that. And if you include that, sure, but that's a gated off play area that doesn't have greenery or anything on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked if there was anybody here to speak either way on this is that, you know, I'd like to hear what the neighbors have to say. Maybe they'd like to see it. Maybe they wouldn't.
I mean, the other part of it goes to what else is he gonna do with it? It's not big enough for a swing set.
Right.
Fair.
And it's already covering the blacktop.
Well, we could call the question and have somebody make a motion one way or the other. And, you know, I think we're kind of at the point where we're kind of yes, kind of no. Let's see what, let's see what the cards say.
I'll make a motion to deny the variance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Babcock, seconded by Mr. Hoy to deny the variance. And just to be clear, is this for all four variance requests on this property?
Yes.
Wait. I don't want him to tear up his driveway
Why would he have to do that?
because of the blacktop where.
Which one are we talking about? Which
The
number?
impervious surface, yeah.
Okay, I agree. I'll make, to deny the three with the exception of the impervious surface.
Okay. Further discussion?
Let me make sure I'm clear on what we're voting on. We're basically saying we are denying everything except for the impervious?
Correct.
Are you suggesting we grant, or not grant, or be quiet on the impervious issue?
I think we
That's
could-
what I'm trying to figure out. If
Yeah.
we say,
I think
because
we
that's,
could
they're not here to present that.
Right. I think we could say deny the three and just leave impervious out of it.
And grant the impervious, because that's in here.
No.
But is the impervious
But
for the
be
black, he's
silent.
not saying for the blacktop, that's what I'm
Right,
trying
for
to
the
say.
blacktop purposes, so
We still have to vote on that,
Right.
just so you know. But you're saying, you're actually just proposing to deny three of them,
Correct.
and that's what you're seconding?
Yeah.
I guess the only question I have on discussion of this is without the shed, the additional shed that's being proposed, is the impervious surface in excess of the allowed limit?
Yes, so either way, because this is already blacktop, from what I understand from Paul, was that this was already done, so this was just adding into this to add the impervious
So
coverage.
it's already beyond the
Yeah.
threshold allowed for impervious surface, so.
With the
okay.
pavement, yes.
Okay. So I'd support this motion if we did a second one, just to approve the impervious surface in excess of the limit without any additional construction or pavement.
Okay.
Just so that,
That's a good
that the city
clarification.
couldn't enforce and remove, and they can remove some of that
Perfect.
asphalt.
I think that's what we meant, but we're finally getting around to it.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll modify my motion to that language.
to include that as part of the, okay,
Yes.
that works for me.
that would address all 4 of our variance requests. Okay. Any more discussion on this? Okay, all in favor of the motion before us, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I would be opposed. So it's 4-1. Sorry, sir, you did not get your variances.
With the exception of the impervious surface.
Yeah, we're not making you tear anything out, but the impervious surface is the only one that we would perhaps leave as is. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Mr. Zimmer, let us know when you want to speak. Because I'm not exactly sure which one is yours and which one is.
I'm number 3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Would-
just here to.
Would note, just
Okay.
on that last one, by leaving the impervious surface at the reported amount in here, we may make it possible for the petitioner to build a shed of that area, but just within the setback, and not exceeding the 100 square foot limit. You know, I think it'd be a smaller footprint shed and within the setbacks, but that wouldn't need any additional action because of the impervious surface.
Okay, I'm not sure if we've got it exactly clear, so maybe we should make a motion addressing the impervious surface, just so it's all clear. At this point, at least in my simple mind, we've denied 3 variances. We've left one as a gray area that may be hanging, and it would help if we could address this in some way, because we've had a request before us for which the gentleman has paid good money regarding that specific variance.
And I guess what I'm attempting to clarify here is that if the petitioner were to build a shed that didn't exceed the maximum square footage for a second accessory building and didn't exceed the impervious surface that we just approved here and was within setbacks, that would be an approvable construction. In other words, if you propose to put that immediately behind his garage, you know, that seems like it could be something that they could do.
Yeah, Don, just to make sure, are you saying we need to do to be extra clear, we should do another motion to approve that variance? So it's very clear?
We just did it in the previous motion.
Did we, but because we were denying,
I'm saying in my simple mind, with a denial of 3 and a gray area of the 4th, I'd like to just make sure that we have it straight in all of our minds, not just not mine, that we know what we're saying on the variance for the impervious surface.
well, just to be extra clear, I make a motion to make sure we're approving the impervious percentage. We're saying yes to that when we said no to the other 3. So
Okay.
A motion to vote on to say yes to the one variance that we are approving, so it's very clear.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion, we understand what we're voting on? Okay, we're voting to approve the one that got left in the gray area, and we're not affecting the other motion or the other vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. I stand corrected, sir, you have 1 variance. I'm not sure if it'll do you much good, but at least it won't do you any harm. Okay, have we beat this one on death?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go on to number 2, Mr. Jandrain.
That's me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Chris Jandrain, and myself and my wife are the sole members of Mobetta LLC. We're real estate investors. We buy and improve single-family and duplex properties in Green Bay and some of the surrounding communities for rental properties and sometimes for resale. So at the property at 2080 Fern Lane, I had a tenant request that initiated construction of additional parking space, which is shown in the request. No building permit was applied for on this project because my concrete contractor didn't think one was required for this small of an addition. So I guess I was wrong about that, or he was wrong about that. However, I had actually applied for 2 other driveway permits, which were granted last year, so in 2017, so I'm not opposed to permits. But anyway, basically, we expanded the driveway. It's a 22-foot by 8-foot steel reinforced concrete slab, which is 4-inch thick, and it's got rebars on 3-foot centers. And then an additional triangular slab, which basically sort of expands the apron so that, you know, it'll be easier to access that parking space. So without tracking through the grass parkway and so on. So the issue was the ordinance talking about locating a driveway in front of a primary entrance. Okay, and it's my understanding in talking with the inspector, Tim Meaves, who I spoke with on the phone, that the intent of this regulation is to assure that the primary entranceways are not blocked by parked cars. And so for ingress, egress, and access to the primary entrance to the home. So I guess an additional thing that I'm proposing to allow the variance is to assure good access, is to install a concrete car stop parking bumper, which would be like 5 foot from the front step. So there would be a clear 5-foot access way going from the driveway into the primary entrance door. Let's see here. I guess I was saying here in the application, you know, the duplex residence was built in 1967, so over 50 years ago. Back in those times, most families had one car, and there were more traditional families. Today, living arrangements are often less traditional, or with two or more cars. So there's a need and a demand for more off-street parking. The ordinance really doesn't give me many other options on this lot, and still using the same curb cut, you know, to put an extra parking space in there. So, you know, and then adding off-street parking, you know, it improves the value of the property for tenants, for landlords, for the city of Green Bay, since, you know, a good level of off-street parking facilitates city operations for snow removal, street sweeping, brush collection. And then, let's see here, the design of the house, basically, with that door being placed so close to the garage, really doesn't give me a whole lot of option to put other, you know, parking space anywhere else, or there's no other logical place on the lot to expand the parking. So, again, you know, proposing to have like a parking stop bumper to provide good access to the door. And then I'm not sure if there's any aesthetic aspects to this, but I guess in my experience, sometimes if you don't provide something like this, sometimes the tendency is for tenants to just park on the lawn anyway, if they have too many vehicles and they have difficulties, you know, which doesn't look good and it's not aesthetic. So I feel like this is a more aesthetic solution. And that's all I've got to say.
Questions of the applicant?
Is there anybody in the apartment that's handicapped?
There is on the other side. It's a duplex, but not on. This is as you're facing it, the right side. Well, actually, I believe she's not like officially handicapped. I'm not sure. She does have a disability, but I don't know what's your definition of handicapped.
Like for handicap parking?
I don't believe she's has been issued a handicap permit, but I do believe she does have a disability, and she does get some form of public assistance.
You stated that your tenant on this side asked for the additional parking space?
Yes,
presumably then they have 2 cars?
Yes.
3 cars?
They have 2 cars.
Okay. And one can't be in the garage while the other one is in the driveway?
I don't know, I really don't know the status of their garage. I didn't really inspect it recently. Some people just pack their garage, they have, they use the garage largely for storage. I don't really know that situation, whether the garage is packed full of, being used mainly as storage or what, so.
Further questions of the applicant? Okay, sir, I'll say that you made your case perfectly. However this gets resolved will not depend upon your particular presentation of this case. What I'm trying to say is we see this a lot. And every time we have it, we kind of wrestle a little bit. And we try to avoid having to be in a position of doing the alderman's jobs on this. What we'll strive for as we argue on this is whether or not we believe that we have sufficient justification based on the dimensions of your lot, the conditions of the lot, the conditions of society, why this should be approved. Because I don't believe the ordinance really provides us a great deal of flexibility. It may be aesthetics, it may be if we put a bumper in, you're okay, but I don't believe that your Inspector Meads was totally correct in saying that was exactly why this ordinance was put together the way it was.
Okay, do you have some other, can you expand on that, or what do you think the intent of
I'm not
the
sure.
ordinance is?
And I know that the council has struggled with this as well.
Okay.
It has been presented, again, to the council since I've been on the committee.
Okay, and then also, I guess I forgot to mention this, but, there apparently is quite a bit of precedence where this is fairly prevalent, in that neighborhood and also throughout the city. I presented, I don't know if that was given to all the members here, but, I had a list of, with pictures showing various residences that were very similar.
Yep.
And so it didn't take me very long, just driving around in that neighborhood to find, a good number of examples that are very similar to this, that
Yes.
apparently either were not enforced or a variance was granted.
Were you aware of how the question came to be called on your property? Was there a complaint? Did
No.
somebody drive by?
I didn't hear.
Self-incriminate, or how did?
No, I don't have any idea of how that came about. I had no complaints from the neighbors. Like I said, the tenants requested it, the tenants are happy with the improvement, and I feel that it is an improvement.
Oh, yeah, but I guess I'm questioning, somewhere along the line, you must have gotten a letter or something got raised, because if you didn't raise a permit, if you didn't try to pull a permit, then how did this issue get called? Do you have any?
I think it was just possibly a drive-by by the inspector. It's the only thing I could figure. It's the only thing I could have guessed,
All right.
and because it was obviously new concrete, so that's
Okay.
that's all I know about it.
Okay, very good, thank you, sir. Thoughts, Tom? You've been the cheerleader, or the anti-cheerleader in this before.
With respect to ingress and egress, the cars parked here, the fire department or the police are gonna have to go around, get to the 5 feet, and then go in. The ordinance is pretty clear, and we've had several of these cases before, where if direct access is inhibited, we deny the request. I don't know that we want to get in the business. The ordinance is pretty simple. No blockage of ingress or egress. And to say, oh, well, if you have a concrete barrier 5 feet from the door, that's okay. Because then that leaves the inspection department going out with the tape measure, well, is this legal or not? I think the intent of the council, and we do have 2 councilmen here, is to protect the emergency response folks and the police department so they can get in there quickly.
There's no way fire department, there's a fire, it's blocked. What are they gonna do? So, I agree with.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. Tommy, no, you have a thought?
No, I mean, yeah, when it's expanded in front of the doorway, I feel like you said, the ordinance is pretty clear, and we've been pretty consistent since I've been on the board
Yep.
about it.
I think we
We've done expanded driveways, even around the corner, looking at Google Maps, there's one that has a slightly expanded driveway. Whether it's been approved or not, I don't know, but it's not in front of the drive, it's not in front of the door. It ends before the door, so.
I make a motion to deny the variance request.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Hoy, seconded by Mr. Babcock to deny the variance request. And in this case, is there just one or is there many variances?
This one.
Just one. Deny the variance request regarding the property on Valley Creek Drive.
No, the property's on Fern Lane.
Fern Lane, I'm sorry, your addresses.
Right.
Pardon me. The address of the property that is in question is Fern Lane.
Can I ask another question regarding this, as far as I guess, it says, could not expand the driveway in front of the door, but, and so apparently I'm going to need to rip out the driveway that was just constructed. Is that the?
Yeah, the enforcement of the city
Okay.
is up to the city. We won't wade into what is necessary or not necessary. We will weigh in on whether or not we approve the variance that's placed before us.
Okay.
That may
so-
lead to what you're saying.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is could driveway, or could some of that slab be left there, part of that slab which is not in front of the door?
That is a judgment that would have to be made elsewhere. I will restrict our decision tonight to the variance requested before us. I wish I could help you more.
Okay.
The way you can, the person to talk to next, if, in light of those questions, we haven't made a vote yet, but it would be somebody in the planning department, the sixth floor here.
Okay, would that possibly entail a second variance request altered from this one?
It may. Mr. Zimmer, did you care to weigh in?
Well, I was just going to say, from my experience, I think you could go like a foot or two from his garage door is allowable.
Yes.
I think you'd have to ask them for sure. But, I probably shouldn't weigh in on something that's not my district or anything, but I don't know, life changes, nature changes. I don't really buy this thing about, the fire department can't get in. If he blocks it, so at least there's enough space. We're talking about like a rescue squad, I imagine.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a fire. I mean, a fire gets going, well, they can find a way to get the water in there one way or another. But if there's a way to, if there's enough room to get around it, I don't see what the problem is, because, in this day and age, people have 2-3 cars. And wasn't, I have places in my neighborhoods that don't have any place to park,
Yes.
because people didn't have cars in the old days, So, I don't know, I would say if he proposed to put a bumper in there so that it would keep it far enough away from the door that nobody could block it, so that the fire department, if a rescue squad could get in there, I think that makes a difference. I hadn't heard of that. Maybe you want to make it something decorative or something, I don't know. I don't particularly like the looks of a bumper myself, but, if you had a little brick wall or something with a planter in it or something, as long as there's enough room for firemen to, rescue squad people to get in and out, I think that's all that's important. If you could ask for some beautification along with it, so it doesn't just look like a concrete jungle, I think that's the way I'd encourage the department to go, the committee to go, is put some beautification, put some kind of a bumper so that it wouldn't restrict a rescue squad from getting, a stretcher in and out of there, and let the gentleman, take care of his tenants.
Yeah, I'll speak with one regard to the committee, I think we have seen so many of these that we're feeling the need to fall back upon what the ordinance directs us.
Well, have you granted some?
Not for a while.
Well, I don't know. It's, maybe somebody needs to bring something to the council to, try to change the rules and put some, I don't want just big ugly concrete world either myself, where but, if you can do it in a nice looking way, why not? Why not accommodate people, allow people to live?
I think we've been fairly.
Nobody, the bus transportation is only for the really severely handicapped that have no other way. It's not convenient at all. It's nothing that can help anybody. So people are really dependent on the automobile, especially in Green Bay, Wisconsin. In bigger cities, it's a different story sometimes. But in a bigger city, sometimes a car is a darn handicap. It's a handicap to own a car. But that's, our lifestyle here is different. So I'd be more concerned about beautification than I would be about, well, are we really stopping the fire department? I don't think we are. If we put, some requirements in there that they are not parking right up to the front door, blocking it.
Yeah, we may need to address this in some fashion with the council so that there may be some more clarification. This is the kind of.
You might want to just send a communication to the council, saying that you'd like the council to review this particular matter.
Yes, I think that's a good
Because it'd
suggestion.
make your job a lot easier.
I'm
Well,
glad
these
we
things
have,
come
I'm
up
glad
so
we have the
often.
two aldermen here to listen to this. Because it does come up often, and we're in this situation a lot.
Where are they?
Three.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my,
Sorry.
you highlighted
Sorry.
parking in your district as well, and you're right, a lot of ordinances were written, as he was highlighting, years ago with single families that had one car. So there's a lot of issues that come before the board that go around expanding driveways or bigger garages for stuff. And so I think if council would consider an evaluation of that, your district struggles with that, you had said, so.
My district is much more difficult than this.
That's what I'm saying, so maybe there's a
These
larger.
are smaller lots and.
A larger look at parking and garages that the council could put together a review of districts and stuff that would maybe relook at all those ordinances, because there's a lot.
I mean,
People
if
come
somebody was
forward a lot.
building that property today, there's enough property there that they could design it differently, but it was never expected that this was gonna be a necessity.
Correct.
That's why I complimented the applicant. I'm sure he doesn't appreciate necessarily
Well, we haven't even voted yet.
the small, depending on how we vote, but this is the classic case with the duplex with the two single stall garages right in the middle.
Can we
It comes up a
defer
lot.
making a decision on this until we get feedback from the council?
We could?
That would be.
It's up to you guys that made the motion.
But I mean, I don't know how you guys can take on issues like that. Is that something that if we would put a 6-month deferment on it or something? And would they be able to provide us a timeline to say, hey, we could review
So if
something
you
like
want to know
this?
the arguments on the other side of it, people don't want to see the whole front yards turned into, concrete driveways, expanding driveways, expanding.
Correct.
But I don't know, I just always feel where there's no harm, and if you can make it look nice, I think that's all that's important, and it's a compliment to the neighborhood rather than a distraction.
Right. Mr. Dwayne?
Yeah, Guy Ziba can put a communication today, it can go right to staff, INS or planning, within 2 weeks. Next council week, or then they come back to the next council meeting, can have a decision, so.
Okay.
To hold it up for a month would be ideally the.
What I'll do is I'll make a
More than that,
request
What's that?
that Paul
Really more than
address,
a month.
that Paul make a request through what the planning department normally brings to the council. And you'll see that when.
I think you got to set it aside at least 3 to 6 months, that was suggested here before, because there's readings of ordinances and all that sort of thing, and there's
Yeah, I
studying,
understand. It
and
takes
there's
a while.
feedback, and, I think if you hold it for 6 months or something, that.
Okay. Can
Also, if I may interject, you don't have to put a timeline on a hold if you want to just put it to the next available meeting after review is complete. Because if a communication is put in,
There
then
you
we
go.
can go through the internal process, and then it can just be brought forward once that's completed, basically.
Okay.
What she said.
Let's have the people who made
Well,
the
just
motion.
say that you hold it
sign.
until council has made a decision on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the one that made the motion, so I would make a motion to hold the decision until the council has ruled on reviewing the statutes.
A second.
Okay, and Mr. Hoy, are you withdrawing your motion from the earlier?
Yes, sir.
So we have a new motion before us to basically to hold this for reconsideration later on. Have I stated it correctly?
Pending the council's
Review.
review.
Yes. Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not sure if this helps the applicant. It may help the process in the long run.
Keeps them breathing for a while.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it gives you, well, it's not my job.
Thank you.
Your job. Sorry.
That's good. I mean, I think it does need some review personally. I mean, it really is an improvement, and it's what people want.
Yeah. Thank you.
Opposed to decorating a little bit there.
I would know. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay, if we can move along to the next one. Mr. and Mrs. Langren,
Hello.
what's your case?
What's our case? We need a bigger garage. We would like to have a bigger garage area so we can park our vehicles inside, have all of our toys, our extracurricular stuff inside, get the stuff out of the shed and in a more secure location. That picture doesn't look like the shed's there yet.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Is it?
It's there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it.
What we're proposing is add on to that garage 24 feet wide by 32 feet deep. Then add on the concrete driveway out and then angle it out to the curb. Is what we'd like to do.
Okay, how wide is your curb cut? Does that stay the same, 29 feet? Is that what it is at the,
It's 19 feet. I don't know, it's 29. It'd be, I want to add,
I mean, not...
cut another 10 feet.
Yeah, it's 19 and they want to make it to
They
29.
Make it 29.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, you have a definite problem in the back. Maybe you can explain the variances for those of us who are easily confused.
So there's an existing garage in the center that's circled.
Yes?
And then they'd like to expand onto that, which is where the 5 feet on each side, that is the setback requirement that they're looking for the variance on here.
Mhm.
The extension of the driveway width, which is too close to the property line, I believe. So it'd be mostly the expansion here, side yard setbacks, and then the tapering of the apron to get into that new garage. So I believe you had originally proposed it this way, is that correct?
Correct, that's the way we like to do it. Like-
And then this would be the correct way to do it if you needed to taper into the garage, given that this is the terrace area.
Got it. Now I understand. The variance request then is side yard, backyard, maybe you could spell them out again. Side yard, backyard.
Impervious.
Impervious again, and then the driveway width for the property line.
Yep, got it. And the reason that you're bringing up for this is that you've got extra stuff and you have extra room and you'd like to use the extra room to take care of the extra stuff.
Correct, we
Yeah.
got 2 vehicles. We have, well, we just bought a third one, we bought a classic car, which we're storing at a friend's garage. We have 2 motorcycles. The garage right now we're using, I got a workbench area, cabinets, air compressor, just, it takes up a lot of room. Snow blower in the winter, lawnmower in the summer. I can get a car in there, but you can barely walk around everything to get it in there. So we don't park a vehicle inside.
Okay. Further questions of the gentleman? Okay.
How many cars would be parking in the garage if you did it?
There'd
Versus
be-
out?
Hopefully
There'd be 2,
3,
well,
when we have all of them in.
well, it all depends. One would probably be out in the yard and 2 would be in the new section all the time. So there'd be no car in the current garage right now. That's stay probably empty, or a car out in the driveway.
So there would still be a car in the driveway and then two inside?
Correct.
And then the current garage where it'd be the storage area?
Correct, that's where my
The
my little
motorcycles
workshop,
are.
my 2 motorcycles, like a scooter, other stuff like that.
Any questions of the applicants? If you could have a seat, we'll deliberate amongst ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have talked to 3 of the neighbors too, and they're all fine with it.
There should be a tree lobby. That's a nice tree you're gonna have to take down.
Yeah, I know. But they came and cleared for the power lines,
Yeah,
and
they butchered it.
butchered
Oh,
it, yeah.
well, they'll probably be happy. What do you think, gentlemen? Mr. Zimmer, did you have any comments on this?
No, there's no objections from the people in the neighborhood. The property's always been well kept here, and we have confidence in the owners.
Okay, thank you. Tom, you were there? Greg, you were there?
I was there.
Comments on the lay of the land?
Well, I guess my thing I'm struggling with is trying to find a hardship. I mean, you know, people have stuff, but, you know, you chose, you know, this is where you live. And collector cars and motorcycles and so forth like that. That's what I struggle with. Those aren't necessarily necessities. Those are, you know, there's other things that you can, the locations where you can have those items. And that's where I struggle, is what's the hardship? You know, it's a pretty significant expansion, and it's much larger than the house. So,
Yeah, the square footage is listed at the bottom as well.
right. And that garage is taking up a big portion of the lot, and it's close to that lot line there. Maybe okay with the neighbors now, but what do we know in the future? So,
So for you, it's a struggle.
yeah, yeah.
No?
Yeah, I'm seeing a car that's parked partially in the terrace on this photo, and we're gonna still have that even though we're, you know, more than doubling the size of the off-street parking with the garage. That's challenging to me, and again, yeah, you know, Greg said I don't know what the hardship is, and I know we're supposed to define some sort of hardship that's in place for us to merit the overturning or allowing the variance from, you know, the zoning that's been put in place, and I'm struggling to see it.
Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, the last one that we kind of reviewed in the same area, I kind of fall in the same bucket usually, which is, you know, like, having extra things is part of life, and it's very awesome to have, you know, extra toys, let's call it, right? But the structure will be bigger than the actual house, and there's, you know, places to store those things, and we talked about that before with boats and stuff, where people have had to store their boats in storage facilities and stuff, you know, and I kind of, I tend to fall on that side of things, so I'm on the, right now, I'm on the denial side.
Your thoughts, Tom?
Yeah, I am too.
Just wonder if I might ask a question.
Sure.
If you cut back the size of the garage 3 or 4 feet to pull yourself farther from the lot line, and, you know, you would reduce the size of your shop, but you could still, in other words, decrease the size of your garage, but still accomplish what you want to accomplish. Is that a possibility?
I think so, but I probably won't be able to park 2 vehicles in a new section. Like if I went instead of 24 feet, maybe go 20 feet, I probably could do that. Right now, the existing garage is 20 feet, and to get 2 vehicles in, even if it was all empty, to get 2 vehicles in, you'd have to be right up against the walls, and then, you know what I mean?
Are you going to take the wall out of the existing garage?
No.
Is it possible to change the structure that way? I mean, to make it one garage, not kind of 2 separate garages?
Yes, I struggle with it both ways. I even thought about maybe taking this whole thing down and starting over from scratch. but I thought it'd be more cost effective doing it this way. Because there's nothing wrong with the structure, so to tear it down, just to put up a bigger garage, I think would be a lot more money.
If they, so to do his suggestion, if they brought it in, it's 6 feet, is that the ordinance?
Mhm.
I always struggle with this stuff. So it's 5 feet right now, but if they brought it in a foot on either side, those variances would go away,
Yes, the
correct?
side yard variance would then be
And the
negated.
setback one on the back side would go away, correct?
The backside would still exist, because unless they're going to bring that,
If they came in, which would be weird, but let's just say, a foot here and a foot here, so they're 6 foot, 6 feet. That would go away?
yes, so if they decrease the size of the garage to make the side yard and the rear yard setback applicable, that'd be fine, then you'd just be looking at a pervious surface.
So now you have impervious, and then you have accessory over principal use.
Yes.
Is it, again, for clarification for me, is that variance, it just needs to be under the primary? Or is there a percentage?
I'd like to suggest that rather than us trying to design this.
Yeah, that's true.
Sir, if
I think that might be the solution for him here. You bring it in a couple, 2 or 3 feet, he still can park his 2 cars. Who's gonna look at the back, that the garage in the back is 1 foot shorter than the other one? And it does allow more green space and that sort of thing there.
So just to be clear, the new garage added on would have to be a foot further in from the existing garage?
I think that's just something that somebody's saying here at the table. I mean, we'd have to
It would
evaluate.
eliminate one of your requests.
Okay.
In fact, doing that, if you bring it in I guess just even a foot on either side, but let's say a couple feet and 1 foot in the back, it eliminates 2 of your needs. All you need is the impervious.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if the petitioner were today asking for a garage that were, say modifications that made a classic kind of 32 by 24 foot garage, in total garage space, I know that's significantly less than they're just talking about now, but I would be inclined to support that, because it's, kind of a conventional 2-stall garage in the community, but, yeah, I think anything beyond that, I'd still need to.
I think that's, if it's plausible with the owners, I think that is a good compromise on it.
I think what we should do rather is postpone this, because I don't want the applicant to have to reapply. And I don't want the applicant to feel that he doesn't have enough time to think about it. And I think most importantly of all, you've had a good hint at how the board may decide on the situation that you presented to us tonight. So if we could, I'd like to defer this for at least 30 days till next time, and then whenever we meet again. That will give you time to think about more what you really want and what you really can live without. And perhaps then you could come to us with a proposal that has been vetted to the extent that you can with planning and perhaps even your alderman.
Scale back a bit.
And come to us and say, it's either this or nothing. Basically, I've gone as far as I can go. If you guys can't live with that, I'm not gonna do anything. So I don't care if you deny my variance, or my variance. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna go away tonight, and you're gonna think you wasted your time, but the value you got is the suggestion that there's some very big concerns on the part of at least 4 of the people up here.
Okay.
And rather than have us try to design it for you and you feel that you're having it designed for you, best that you think about it in calmer state and decide what you really want to do. And we'll just let it all hang out till next month.
Okay.
We actually will be out of town next month. Is it okay if it's?
We can go 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, let's go to, I'll be out of town too. so.
But the sooner we can do this, the sooner I can get things in motion. And
True.
Well,
If we
Do you
were
know for sure
to,
that you're willing to decrease the size of the garage?
Yes, if that's what it'll take, then yes.
Let's hold it off, and we'll hold it off 60 days. If you want to come back in 30, that's fine.
Okay.
So far, so good. Let's have a
We'll get
motion
a
to
motion
that
for that.
effect. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll,
I motion to defer the variance request for up to 60 days.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. So that's the situation.
Okay.
We've kicked the can down the road 60 days to allow you time to come back and decide what you really, really want.
And Paul will go out with you to go over the design criteria too. Okay.
Well, once again, the sixth floor is your friend.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, was it this built in the old days? No.
Mr. Vanderwall?
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I forgot to bring the Kringle again. This is what you got additionally the other day.
This is our,
Is this a single packet or you need a handout?
this really worked last time.
Just so we have.
This is the actual portion of the parallel sign of the packet.
This is actually part of the marketing, so like to just keep constantly
Right.
remind us of the imminent arrival.
So what we talked about last time was your sign on the road.
There's a pylon sign we talked about last time. This is the parallel sign that's on the taller portion of the building. So the ordinance says we get 50 square feet. So that's on the left. What?
On 2 walls.
On 2 walls, yes. And so then on the right is the 99 square feet. But if you actually, because we have to count the space in between the letters, if we didn't have the taller part of the building there and just spread it out, it would be like 66 square feet, because we wouldn't have to count the space above and below the letters. So anyways, having the building is like 45 feet off the road, which shortens up your vision tunnel by quite a bit. And thus, it's going to be hard to read the sign. Typically, when you look at parallel signs, you're doing a glance type thing. You don't see them, as you're driving down the road, you have to do a glance type thing. And typically, you get 1 or 2 glances while you're going by a business. Because we're closer to the road, you're probably only going to get 1 glance. And the glances are usually 1 to 2 seconds. And so thus, if they can't read it clear in that 1 to 2 seconds, they're probably gonna miss it. And 30% of the people do miss the signs anyways as they're glancing. So we're hoping to get the larger letters.
Okay, now, could you help me out? Is this facing which way?
Mason.
This is actually facing straight to Mason.
Yep.
And we've already got the pylon sign up here.
Right, right.
We approved that.
Yes.
And now you're just talking about the facing of the front of the building as it faces across the street to Mason.
Right.
And the ordinance would leave them at 50 feet?
Yep.
So what they've drawn on the left is what,
That is an approvable sign. That would require a variance, the larger sign.
And again, they're allowed 2 signs, 50 square feet each. They just can't have it all on one face. So we're combining them, only doing 1 sign on one face of the building.
This particular roadway is kind of that, we talked about this last time, where it leads up into that higher speed range and into a different area of the ordinance changes there. So it's right before the change of what you could possibly have.
Right, and the challenging part is the 40-mile-an-hour speed
Right,
limit.
speed limit.
The stoplight is right there, and it's like 4 lanes of traffic. So there's, a lot going on right there.
okay, so you made your case on regarding angles and speeds and everything, and I think we've heard that before. And I appreciate you presenting this to us, so we have an idea of what the 2 different things are. Further questions of the applicant? Okay, if you could have a seat.
Yeah, the one thing I'll just end with is the fact that we are just combining. We're not going to have a sign on any other elevation but this one.
Right, understand.
Is there any, this is the building here, is there anything on the building that also is gonna have Uncle Mike's Bake Shop
No.
on it?
No.
Just the sign on the side of the road that we
Correct,
talked about
yes.
last time you were here?
Right.
So this will be the only sign on the building?
Correct.
And I told Paul we would put that in writing if that helped, because we're still under the total 100 square feet allowed
For the building.
for the building.
Right, because you were talking about the two services.
Correct.
Is there a potential for a second service? Service?
Along the side, possibly.
So if I'm looking at it
Going east.
over there, or on this side?
On the east or west side, you
East
could
or
put
west side.
something.
But the traffic flow doesn't really
Catch it.
justify it.
Yeah.
We'd rather utilize our square footage on the front of the building where it would maximize
Most visible.
exposure.
So if I'm, again,
This is,
for.
this sign is looking at everybody who's leaving the I-43 Business Park.
Correct.
Right,
After they
right.
watch a movie at Marcus East or something else, or go like, hey, let's go get some Kringle.
They're all
Oh, why wouldn't you?
Green Bay to me. I'm
Okay.
driving this way, down Mason.
Tommy's from
Around the corner
California.
Are you
here.
going east?
I'm going away from the freeway, so toward,
Okay,
yeah,
you're going
I'm
east.
going east.
Yep.
This is facing
You're-
You don't see it at
you're-
all.
You're going down and that's going by on your left.
Right there,
Right.
yep.
like that.
Exactly.
Copy that. Cool. Bearings are good.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you for your.
Sorry.
All the applicants have to bear with us quite a bit of the time.
Yeah.
We appreciate your patience. What are your thoughts, gentlemen? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Duane.
Yeah, thank you, Tom Duane, District 2. I kind of like this idea better than the other one. Not only does it look better, but that is my district, and if you look where Challenger is, you don't really, if you're coming up, if you're going west on East Mason, you really don't get a good look until you're on top of it, actually. And coming west, or going east, you can see the building there, but you're not really, everything's set so far back. Until you actually get on top of it, you're not gonna see it. I mean, it's that way all the way down. That's one of the biggest things I get, all these buildings gotta be set way far back. And by the time they're going through, and I know you heard the statement about the 40, what goes up to 40. Well, if you're going west, the average probably speed is about 50, 55. If you're coming from west to east, it's probably 60. We just had that up in traffic, just down below, we were talking about that. Nobody does 40. But that's here nor say, I mean. So to put it on the side wouldn't really help them at all. It probably won't even make the building look good. I think this is a classy look. I think they did their best to stay under that, what was it, 100 square feet, but they just put it in one spot. I'm completely for it. I've talked to other people in industrial park. They didn't even question it.
Okay.
The only question I ever get out there is how come we can't put bigger signs so people know where we are? I get the same one all the time,
Okay.
so,
That's what we heard from Uncle Mike last month.
yeah.
All right, I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Duane. Okay, gentlemen, I'm okay with this.
I'm good with this.
We're in violent agreement again, I assume.
I guess from my perspective, aesthetically, I look at the two images of the building, and I do think the smaller permitted sign is more balanced. I think it's a little overbearing with the larger size, but I don't know that I'm gonna buck the gang here. I do
No,
think
not
that,
bucking the gang.
that this is
Oh,
definitely,
okay. So, look, I'm sorry that I may have implied otherwise.
yeah, I do think that,
Don't let me-
this
don't let me
is,
sway you.
this is gonna be a destination on the east side, and I think folks wanna know where it's gonna be at. and-
Yeah, but I'm gonna play counterpoint. Like, we had the exact same discussion for the driving for the title. That's why I was asking if Uncle Mike was gonna be on the building. We already said it was okay for the driving and the whole same exact case for the name of the shop with a pylon sign. That was the argument there. It's like, we need people to know we're here, and we approved a larger sign than normal. And now, again, aesthetically, we're not here to comment on design, but if it's already been brought up, I would agree that it does look more balanced and aesthetically pleasing on the left, but that's not what we're here to do. But at the same time, this is not about telling people, for me, Uncle Mike is here. That's what we already voted on
So
that.
Uncle Mike is about.
This is a slogan. This is a catchphrase. It's very important for marketing and all of that. So my feeling is more no on this one, since we already granted for the actual name of the sign on the pylon.
Okay. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we've done one variance with respect to the signage, and I think that the smaller version will do the job. Normally, I always side with the older person on this one, but I guess in this case, with all due apologies, sir, we've been down the road once, and I think the smaller sign's gonna do the job.
I don't think it looks better. I think it's a lot smaller. I think it doesn't do the justice for what he's putting in there, and the volume that he's putting in there, and I think it looks great, the way it is, and, it says award the best Granville, he's not lying. I think everything about it speaks volume, and I don't see that it's more balanced in any way. It's very balanced. I mean, it's very well put together. You got a professional person that puts these things up every day for a living, and I don't know. I don't see. I know you gave them a variance the last time, but this coincides exactly what they need. So I would appreciate if you would support this.
My position for it would be the location. It's located a little farther out.
Right.
The speed, and the fact that they're staying within the 100 gives them a little bit better visibility and give them location. So I think the location and the speed factor is a hardship. That's my argument for hardship. So I got some people on the other side of the fence.
No, I mean, and that's why we're here. It's good to have, sometimes it's always yes, or always, we're all the same
We're not here
thing,
to
so I
have
think it's
agreement,
good.
we're here to vote.
Yeah,
This isn't a committee, it's the board.
yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say too, just looking at actually the color copies you just gave us, looking at it, I'm noting that on the left, the letters are actually outlined on the rendering of the building, and on the right, they're not. And that changes the way my eye is seeing. What's that?
They're identical, it's just, maybe it's
It's
just
just
the way
the density of the shadow
Yeah,
is what's
that's
happening.
exactly
Because the
what it
density of the shadow is tighter. on
They're
the-
made identical.
Yeah.
I can clearly see a black line around the letter A, all the way around it, not just the drop shadow on the left, and I don't see it on the right. I don't think my eyes are that bad.
They're black returns, so the return back are black, with probably a black,
They're each using backlit letters, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking
That's
about
true,
what you're
they're
talking
backlit.
about doing,
They're
I'm
backlit.
talking about what I'm seeing on this piece of paper in
they're
front of me.
backlit with a halo.
Right, but I'm just saying is in the graphic on this sheet, maybe you want to come up and take a look at it, but in the graphic on this sheet, the individual letters have a black outline around them on the left-hand side, but they don't have it on the
The
right. They
specs should be identical.
both have drop shadow, but in the image that I'm looking at, they look different.
Yeah, they're manufactured exactly the same.
I'm not talking about the manufacturer, what
He's
your
just saying that.
specifications are, I'm talking about the piece of paper in my hand.
Well, it's a design. It's a
I understand, but
computer
I'm just talking about how I'm perceiving what you're
Okay.
presenting today
Okay.
and what it means to my eye
And I
and whether
apologize.
one works better than the other. And I'm saying to you that the black outline is making me see the left side more attractively than the right-hand side.
Okay.
And that's part of my comments as to whether or not it works for me.
There actually is no black outline. It's a solid letter with a halo. So there is no, the color, the letters themselves are all one color, and there's a backlit from behind with an LED. I don't know how to fix the computer image right now, sir.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about what your specs are. I'm talking about what I'm seeing
Can
here
somebody
today.
help me?
Well, and I agree with you, I can see what you're talking about.
I can, but I-
And it's probably our mistake on
Mine
the design portion of it. Maybe the artist put more outline
Yeah.
on the background
So some-
to give it more definition. But the fact of the matter is, there's no black.
There's no
I know there's no black on the sign, but I'm saying in terms of me
Black on the
evaluating
drawing, and I see what
A
you're saying.
versus B, it makes A look better to me on this piece of paper, and is affecting my judgment on whether or not to say yes or no to this variance request.
And I apologize, it's our mistake.
I think it's an artifact of the printing process.
It may be, but I'm just saying I'm looking at then the balance between positive, negative space on these two images, and I'm looking at one that looks less attractive to me, and then saying, oh, it's less attractive and it's a variance, weighs against me saying yes to the variance.
May I ask a separate question from a design standpoint? On the right image on this sheet here, the is the scale proportionate in terms, so on the left it goes 15 3/4, then it goes 16 1/2, and then it goes 18 3/4 for the first 3 lines? And then the next one, the scale is 20 1/4, and then I can't read that next number, is it 20 3/4? So as it expands, the scale is not proportionate, is that correct?
The line spacing you're talking
The,
about?
the size of the font. The size of the font is not scaling proportionately, correct?
Versus the size.
It may not be due to the space and
This
and
way.
square footages. Yes. So they may have to make some adjustments on the difference in height between some of the letters and other letters.
Like the length, the tallness is what I'm getting at.
Correct.
So my question, I'm gonna maybe go down a path that is not my job, I don't know. Chairman, you can correct me. If you had a choice from a design standpoint, what you have is awarded the best, which are almost the same in terms of height, and then Kringle is the highlight, right? You're trying to highlight Kringle, and then in North America being the secondary piece of your slogan. With me? Is there an opportunity for a happy medium in the sense of following the same scale and bringing it, because over here on your document, you said we need a 19-inch sign on this last one. Our recommendation based on the math is a 19-inch, I need 19-inch tall signs. Does that make sense? On the right one, over here, everything's above 20. So if you took the happy medium, let's say, and that might still put you over the total 50 square foot, but it wouldn't be double per se, which is the 93. Is there an opportunity to still accomplish your math at 19 inches, still keep the slogan, the way you want, this one, and then Kringle a little bit bigger, but not go to the full 93? Say it was a 75 square foot. And I know that I'm trying to find a compromise, but maybe a compromise isn't needed, but at the same time, the reason why I'm looking for that compromise is because of the math at 19. You're telling me, as part of your case, we need a 19-inch lettering. Does that make sense? So if you're able to look at 19-inch and say, that is, Kringle needs to be 19 inches, and then follow the scale back and find out what the square footage of that number would be, I don't know if am I allowed to say? I would be more inclined to say, I would be more inclined to approve it because the math is supporting the argument. Right now, the math is saying this, and then we're going for this.
If we could.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I think I know what road you're going down. Perhaps maybe if we took, and let's say that the word awarded is currently, in my eyesight, it's bad because I'm old.
20 1/4.
Is 20, now how do you see that?
I got glasses.
20 1/4, if perhaps maybe we brought that down to like 18, and then the best also down to 18, maintain Kringle, which is our punchline. And then
Yeah, I
kept
would go
the-
the other way.
the thing-
I would say take the Kringle and go to 1920, right? Because that's what you for sure want people to see, Kringle, which
Yes.
fits within Uncle Mike's Bake Shop, Kringle. So push the envelope on that one and then follow the scale backwards from there. Because the math, again, what you're telling us is, I need 19 inches tall lettering. So right now you're asking for 23 5/8 on the second one. So use the math for what it is you want people to see and push it maybe a touch. Maybe go 20 inches on that one. And then scale the other pieces back and then say, this is what the total square footage is. And it might end up being 72. It might be 68 square footage. I'd be more apt to say, cool, you've made a case, the math, the speed, all of those different things work. Because I have so many letterings and everything, the square footage of the sign is going to go over the 50, but I can tell you is the only, I'm only speaking on my behalf, who's a no right now, would be more inclined to say yes. You might not need to do that, the board might vote to approve. That's my inclination. I appreciate people that come to the table with scientific math, and this is great, I love it. And, I want Uncle Mike's to be successful like any other business, I'm a business owner. And so I would want anybody to have any advantage to be successful at any point.
Mr. Chairman.
So, that's my.
I got a follow-up to this, and I know it's frustrating to some in here and not in here, but, interesting idea. I do have a concern because if they change the scaling of the other lines, then you're going to be narrower text blocks because they're smaller letters. And then one of the things I think you've got is that this is all a box, right? It's all a block, and I think that's part of the aesthetic of it. I guess I'd be willing to say yes to the variance request if we just made the modification that the line spacing was proportionate to the proposal, to the permitted proposal on the left. You've increased the size of the text, but you've also
Increase the spacing.
increase the spacing between the lines. If this block on the right was the same proportions as the block on the left, but the letters were large enough to fill the width as you've got them on the proposal, I'd say yes to that. In fact, I'll move that we approve this variance subject to the line spacing be adjusted to be proportionate to the proposal on the left.
Okay, I see what you're doing, Noel, and I agree. And I think, if I can say it a different way, you take the thing on the left and just blow it up. Leave all proportions exactly the way it is, just to blow it up, magnify it, whatever, and
Until it fits the width of that column.
until it fits the width of the column.
Like you're proposing, not to exceed what you're proposing.
Right, so that may actually make it a little bit,
The square footage would definitely come down. and-
Not to exceed
Definitely
10 foot 9 inches wide, as you've got on that proposal.
Is there, I mean, maybe there's a reason why they did that, so instead of us, I mean, is there a reason why the spacing in between the lines increased
Yeah, just-
as the scale went up?
Legibility primarily. You know, one of the things that we, can I kind of approach here?
Of course.
Sure.
One of the things we, do you have the bigger drawing?
That's right,
Right
there's two
up
of
there.
them.
One of the things we do when we're manufacturing and designing signs is we hold it about 6 feet away from you, because typically that's what you're gonna kind of see. Now, this one's drawn up a little bit bigger than what a normal drawing will be, but this is kind of what you're gonna see from the road. And so that's what we do to try to see what the legibility is going to be from a standard 150 to 160 yard visibility. So I think what you're trying to tell us is to tighten these lines up and make them closer together.
yeah,
Is
just
that
kind of
correct?
expand this exact thing over here with the same proportions and
To
fill it
10 foot 9
into,
inches wide.
fill it into.
Maintain the 10-foot wide inches,
Yeah.
just make it tighter
Yeah.
together. As tight-
I move that as an approval of the request with that condition.
I'm one vote, so, I'm,
Is there a second? I guess we should have a second.
I'll second it.
Talk about it.
All right, we have a motion made by Mr. Alverson, seconded by Mr. Babcock, to grant the variance with the clarification that the final sign be of the same proportion as the sign on the left.
And with a max width of 10 feet 9 inches.
Exactly. Is that the way everybody understands? Is that clear to the applicant?
Yes.
Okay.
May I just make a comment?
Yes.
I like the notion that we are not working with 100 square foot, doubling the 50 on one side, 50 on the other, and we've negotiated an acceptable standard with the sign folks.
Very well. All in favor of the motion as it's presented to us, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I understand that's 5-0?
no.
It's still 1, 4-1? Very good, thank you. You have your variance.
Thank you.
Just to explain my position on this, I let this discussion go on as long as it did because you were in a position of having 3 no's. And I did want this to be worked out as best we could. Not perfect, but I think it's the best solution we have.
Well, please, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Been a long time. Well, a year.
Mr. Betcher.
Hello. My wife is waiting.
I'm basically here on behalf of H.C. Martin. Edward and David both had planned improvements that they couldn't make it tonight, so this is just a letter from Edward explaining his position. Do you have the pictures of the 2 signs that you had? Basically, H.C. Martin's going through a number of improvements and renovations in their building. They're doing the sign now. Basically, what they were originally looking at doing would require no permits, refacing, copy change, color change, improvements on that regard. But you can see on their current sign, that one, their current message center is located underneath the sign. And the proposal is to move it up into the sign and make it part of the sign face itself. And the variance is basically size. If you look at our current ordinance, it allows for 32 square feet for changeable message signs. On a typical sign, which in the city is, you're allowed 150 square feet for freestanding sign. This sign has been built years ago at double that size, so basically the percentage of the sign, the message center to the sign would be the same with this. It's just moving it up, cleaning it up, and an improvement on Military Avenue, and that's what they're looking at doing.
Questions of the applicant?
This is basically a grandfather then.
Yeah. Mr. Alderman, do you have anything to comment on this?
I definitely support what they're trying to do. I think it's, if you look at what they're proposing here, it's a very nice looking sign, and I think it'd be a real compliment to the area as well. I would definitely support it.
Thoughts?
I have no issue with it at all.
I don't either. A motion would be in order.
Make a motion to approve the variance.
I'll second.
A motion's been made by Mr. Babcock, seconded by Mr. Hoy to approve the variance for the H.J. Martin sign as presented to us by Mr. Vetcher. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tony? Aye. Aye, 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All the best to you guys.
We apologize for not giving you the insight of our advanced design.
Graphic design skills here.
I got 10 minutes to make the game.
Very good. Go for it.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're done.
As a reminder to everybody,